Hey stamping friends, it's Terry Gaines. In this video, I'm going to give you all the details so you can make this fun fold card that will stand on a desk and showcase different designer series papers. And at the end of the video, I'm going to share how I made the Bumblebee using the Ladybug Punch from Stampin' Up's mini catalog. The product I'm using is from Stampin' Up's Sale-a-bration brochure, which ends February 28th, 2022. From Stampin' Up's mini catalog that is January through June 2022, and a few products from the annual catalog. If you found me via YouTube, there's a direct link to my blog post where I will have a detailed PDF that you can download that will give you all the details for this fun fold card. So before I start assembly, I'm going to prep all of the pieces for the card. And as I mentioned at the end, I will show how to make the little cute bumblebee. So we start out with a cardstock that is 11 by 5.5, and it is scored at 1 3/8 or 1 3/4. Sorry about that. 3 1/2, 5 1/4, and at 7. So I'm going to move the Simply Scoring out of the way, and I'm going to explain how I've generated this, the details on this diagram. So we need designer series paper, or you could actually stamp cardstock or texturized cardstock. We need two pieces that are both 1 1/2 by 5 1/4. I am using the Daffodil Afternoon designer series paper from the Sale-a-bration brochure. It is such a fun designer series paper, 12 by 12 in size, 2 each of 6 double-sided prints. I'm using this print right here, and it is free during Sale-a-bration with a $50 purchase. And the other print I am using is all the way in the back. It is this print here. Absolutely love this designer series paper, and there's so much you can do with it. So I have cut this one for the first panel, and I have cut this print for the third panel, so first and third panel. If you wanted, you could cut designer series paper or decorated cardstock and fill in these two panels. I chose not to do that. I like it where it's more simple of a design. So this layer over here is 3 3/4 by 4 1/4, and I am using the Bumblebee color here. And I decided to texturize this with the Hive 3D folder that is in the mini catalog. So I've cut that to size and texturized that piece right there. Then this is just kind of an overlay to show you the dimensions for this piece. So I have that at 5 inches by 2.5 scored, or at 2.5 or folded in half. Now just to let you know, you can make this bigger. You can make this square 3 by 3, you know, so it's 6 by 3 and folded in half. I chose to make it smaller because I wanted to showcase the designer series paper. As you make it larger, you're covering up that designer series paper. So that's just to represent that card that's on top. Now the layers I have cut here is I have a 2 1/4 by 2 1/4 to go on the front. I also use the 3D folder for that. And if you're not familiar with the folders, you place your cardstock between or in the folder, run it through your die cutting machine, and it will texturize the paper for you. So I've done that for this piece. Now this piece, excuse me, is 2 inches, and I chose to have that 2 inches because if I'm going to cut this piece 2 inches, I'm going to cut this the same size, just is easier for prepping. And this piece is for this side, and this is 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. So these are the pieces that you would stamp. Now when you open up the card, you can see this part. So my sample has this part where I'd sign my name. You could actually sign your name over here and have like a sentiment on this side. So you could definitely put this here. I've prepped this ahead of time. I actually used a stamp sentiment from the annual catalog, or a stamp set from the annual catalog. My sentiments are from the Queen Anne's lace stamp set, and you can use any of your favorite sentiment stamps for this. So this is going to be replaced by this one, or like I said, it could be here. And we'll leave it right here. And then I have a little the Hello Friend. This is a 3/4 inch strip, and I use the banner pick a punch for cutting that, and that's going to be for the front. So the only piece I haven't talked about is this daffodil paper. I'm using that Bumblebee and basic black theme here. So this kind of doesn't fit that color theme. So what you can do is take this paper and a daffodil dark Stampin' Blend, and you can color right over this image. And with the blends, go really lightly. I tell my customers in my in-person events that you don't want to hear that paper sound, or that don't press hard enough that you make noise, just really soft. And when you start hearing that scratchy noise when you're coloring in, and to get the color in, I tell people that that's when you have to consider buying a new blend combo set, because your ink might be running out or soon to be running out. So these are consumable. They don't last forever, but they are absolutely beautiful. Fun to work with. So by coloring in all the daffodils, even over that, you can create a design like that that now fits that color scheme for the card. So hopefully all of that detail was helpful. So now let's do the assembly. So what we want to do is take this, and we want this to be folded with a mountain fold. So mountain folds go like this. The next one is a valley fold, mountain fold, and valley fold. So we're creating that. It is probably a wise idea to take your bone folder and just crease those to help them stay in that accordion style. I'm going to start out by putting this on first, and use your favorite adhesive. I'm going to use the Stampin' Up seal, and I'm going to turn this and look for equal spacing on these two ends, or top and bottom, and the side. And the other side will fall right into place. But this is the more visual side that you would see, and we have that. The Designer Series paper, as I mentioned, goes on the first panel and the third panel. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere this. And as I mentioned, this is a free item with a $50 purchase during Sale-a-bration. And then we're going to put this one on. And just going to use the adhesive here, and I'm going to place this down like this. Look for my equal spacing right there. Hopefully I'm still on camera. So I have those pieces down. Now what I'm going to do is put this on. So I'm going to adhere this 2-inch onto this 2 1/4 inch square. Look at the opposite corners for equal spacing on all 4 sides. And then I'm going to place this right in the middle, meeting equal spaces on the side, equal spacing top and bottom. And I'm going to place this down first. Now I purposely cut this 2 1/4, a 1/4 inch smaller than this square of this card. You do not want to cut this piece bigger, because it will be visual. You would see it through there. So I'm going to put all the pieces on this little card. So this card is going to be attached. So on the back, I'm going to put this sentiment. Look for equal spacing. And on here, I'm going to, on the other panel here, I'm going to put this Hive texturized paper, and like so. And I should have closed it and did the equal spacing, but that's okay. So this kind of is a backwards kind of card for you, because it's going to be attached to this panel and the front panel. So it's going to be attached like this. The easiest way that I think the easiest way to attach that and let me find my tear and tape, is to put some tear and tape on here. Tear and tape is Stampin' Up's strongest adhesive, and what I like about it is you can tear it. I don't try to get right to the ends because it's so strong you don't need to worry about getting right to the end, and also you don't want any exposed adhesive. So put pressure down and it will help get the backing off, and sometimes it's easier to take the backing off from the side than try the end where you've tore it. So oops, I'm taking that off too fast. So what I want to do is just be cautious of when I take it off, so I got carried away. I apologize for that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this card down right here and cover up and look for equal spacing on the two ends, top and bottom. So that will tell me that I am covering up this piece that I've already attached. And if I place that down like that, I can just bring this panel down and it attaches to the right spot. I'm going to keep holding on to this, put those panels down, take this backing off, and close this. Now I've got my card attached exactly where I want it, and when it closes, it covers up that inside sentiment portion. Now we're going to embellish it. This is going to be the outside sentiment, and let me grab what we need for the Bumblebee. We're going to use the Ladybug Builder Punch in the Stampin' Up's annual mini catalog. I'm going to use a striped paper, and it is from the Pattern Party paper, which is a hostess item. It is this striped paper right here. I want that striped paper to be cut at 1 1/2 inches wide, and I want 3 white stripes with some black on the ends, because what I can do then is take the punch in, and hopefully you can see this on the camera, right at the neck. Right at the neck of the Bumblebee, I'm lining it up to where the white and the black meet and punch out the body. Now I'm going to bring in the blend again, and you can take your blends, and it's the dark daffodil, and color in the stripes. So to save some time, I've done that ahead of time. Now what I want to do is take a paper snips and trim this black portion off. The reason I do that just for alignment. Now I have the body of the Bumblebee. I cut the entire Bumblebee out with black cardstock, and for the wings I used vellum. So I'm going to bring my Simply Scoring back in just to share this tip with you. Vellum is very fragile when you fold it, so you got to be very careful. I take a strip that's about 4 inches wide. This is actually wider, it's 4 1/2, and I keep it longer, but at least 4 inches wide. Take the large end of the stylus and softly score it at 3/8 of an inch. Turn it over and softly score it again at 3/8 of an inch, and then you want to fold it very carefully so you try not to crack the vellum. Vellum is fragile, but you can carefully fold that, and we want a little bit of this because you see your adhesive through the vellum. So now what I'm going to do is bring this in and put the folded end towards where the head of the Bumblebee would be. I need to leave that folded edge because otherwise if I push it in too far, I'm going to cut it into 2 pieces. So I want to leave it and just go up so I'm barely touching right here and punch out the wings. Now because this is going to go behind here, we've got some excess. So you just take and do a cut right here and a cut right here. And now put your adhesive on the back of the Designer Series paper. That's going to allow you to adhere the vellum wings to the back. Put a little bit more adhesive on that. Now this gets a little tricky, so you just gotta work with the alignment. What you want to do is watch and use your fingers to get this aligned right. So your body of the stripe is over the black, and now you have your cute bumblebee. You can put a couple dimensionals on the back. You can use the black dimensionals, but because I'm putting them so far in, it does not, oops, it's okay to use your standard. Take the backings off. Take your pick tool, works good. We'll bring the card back in, and I'm going to have it flying this way. I'm going to take the sentiment. I'm going to put just one dimensional on that. I'm going to actually trim a little bit of this off. And I'm going to just tuck that underneath. I want to make sure that dimensional stays right on there so I don't have exposed adhesive. So here is the fun fold card using the Ladybug Builder Punch to create a cute little bumblebee. I hope this was a helpful video. I would love to have you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click the red box under the video, then select the red bell, and you'll be notified when I upload new videos. Thanks for stopping by. Take care and happy creating.